Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in today. I was hoping to do this video on Monday, but unfortunately the week sort of got away from me. On Sunday at the flea market, I was, just doing my thing, and this guy had come in and he had some cards to sell. And then he said, I sort of kind of went, this was actually on Saturday. On Saturday, I told him what I like to do is buy in bulk. So if you've got a card collection, I'd like to buy the whole thing. And we'll come up with a number, but I want to buy the whole collection. And he's like, well, I can get some stuff. And I used to be a dealer. And he was a dealer for a long time in my town, dating back to the 80s, a card show promoter. He had signed memorabilia, pictures of him with Yaz, Ted Williams, Bobby Dorr, etc. So the guy's legit. And he had a lot of stuff that he says he still had some stuff left over from when he got out of the business about 20 years ago or so. So what I was trying to get him to do was either let me go see what he had at his home, or actually just, bring in whatever it is you got. He brought in some stuff, and I turned some of it away, and I bought some of it. This is what I bought. So he came back on Sunday, and this is what he came in with. So he came in with some 63s. And I bought these for two reasons. There's nobody in here of like super duper consequence, but these cards are in really nice condition for 63. And not that one, but most of them are high numbers or semi-highs. 502, Darryl Spencer, Norm Bass, and obviously 63 high numbers sell for a decent amount. Whether they're common or not, they sell for $6 or $7 because the high number series is so difficult to come along. And these were probably the better conditioned cards that he brought in. He had some better named players, but the cards were not in really great shape. And the ones that were better named players, it didn't make any sense to me to buy them because I knew I had better conditioned stuff. So here we go. Steve Burrows, card 532. Jack Fisher, 474. So I know how hard in the 60s and 50s it is to find high numbers. And these are in really nice shape. I mean, almost pack fresh. I mean, there's a couple of them that have some dings and stuff, but for the most part, they all look pretty nice. Joe Schaefernoth, 463. Dick LeMay from the Cubs. So they have some wear along the corners, but pretty nice for vintage. 459. And then here, Don Cardwell, 575. So there was a batch of these, and like I said, these had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. So I was able to pick those up. Then along with it came some 71s. And again, the reason I bought these, they're in pretty decent shape, which anybody who collects 1971 knows 71s are tough to come by in decent shape. But more importantly, I got them because they were high numbers or semi-highs. So 627, Steve Hamilton, Ted Sizemore, 571, Ed Kranepool, 573, Cesar Tovar. This is a regular card, 165. This is unfortunately, has a couple of marks, but it's a 6th series checklist. So it has some marking on the back, but it's card number 619. It would have been amazing if this was completely unchecked. because that's very difficult to find, obviously. The Cleveland Indians, now the Guardians, card 584. Pretty sure I have that. Tom Bradley, pitcher, card 588. Jack Aker. So some of these, they've got some touching on the corners, but their higher numbers are semi-high, so I was okay with paying a little bit more for these. 593. Ken Tatum, Red Sox. This card looks really sharp, and it's card 601. Pretty sure I need that. John Gellner, Brewers. This card's a little bit rough, but it's card 604. Chuck Taylor. Again, pretty rounded corners, but not like major creasing on any of these cards, So that was another positive. 606. Paul Ratliff. This one's pretty sharp for 1971. 607. Pedro Borbon. Pretty sure I have this card already. 613. Ken McMullen. This one looks pretty nice. Centering's always going to be an issue on 71. Really, a lot of vintage is always going to be an issue. 485. This isn't a high number. Braves rookie. 494. Marty Patton, Brewers. That looks like a pretty nicely conditioned card. 579. Vita Blue. This one's in, a little bit rougher condition, but a name player. And he's card 544. Roger Nelson. Again, pretty well worn here, but card number 581. Amos Otis, card 610. Tom Phoebus, 611. Clay Dalrymple, Orioles, card 617. And then I got this one because it was just nicely conditioned, and had Yaz. So I think I might need this for my binder. And it had Tony Olivo. So I thought that was a nice one for card 61. So we'll see if we need that, but we'll check it in a minute. And then, so I bought those. And then the two cards I sort of identified as cards I wanted to buy, they weren't stupendous condition, but they weren't bad either. This 1966 Willie Stargell. All right, it's probably like G to VG condition. Looks like it might have some waxing there. I haven't even taken this out of the holder. That's something I'm going to do tonight. See if I need these for my sets. But I figured a Willie Stargell is going to be a nice pickup from the 60s. And then finally, this was probably the biggest card I bought in this group. Not because of its value, really, but because it's really cool looking. And I wanted another card of this player. A 1965 Yogi Berra. When you get to a fork in the road, take it. So you've got, some issues there on the corners. So this is probably a G card, but no creasing that I was able to see. So I was pretty happy with this card. And again, it's card 470. So these are cards. This one's not a high number, but this is probably in 65. I don't know if that's a semi-high or not. I don't know what number the 65 set goes up to. That's something I would have to research. But yeah, so these were the two cards that I paid, a little bit more for. So all told, there's roughly 38 cards here. I paid about $50. I paid not about $50. I paid $50. I estimated the value somewhere around $80, especially with these cards and the way they sell. The 63s. I estimated the value at least around $80, and I was willing to go about 60% of that. And he was agreeable to that. He had Hank Aaron's, he had other stuff, but they were creased up and that sort of thing. And it was cards I already owned. Cards I already owned to get another card creased didn't really make sense to me. Because basically that'll be for resale. And I know how people's minds operate sometimes, especially when you're trying to work out a deal. The idea is, well, it's a Hank Aaron, so pay me a lot of money, And to this guy's credit, he wasn't like pushing, the idea that, hey, I got to get full retail, because he knew I was trying to resell. But I also explained to him what I've explained to you guys on this channel. I'm a collector first. So what's going to happen tonight is I'm going to look at my 63 set and see how many of these I need, which probably quite a few, because I don't have a lot of 63s. This set, I do have a substantial amount. So I'm really looking to upgrade condition on the 71s and maybe fill in some holes in the later series. And then I'll see on these two. To be honest with you, I don't know if I owned either of these cards. Right? I'm sure I own Yogi Berra cards, but I'll check. I'll check my 65 set and see if it's in there. And then I'll check my 66 and see if the Willie Stargell's in there. And we'll go from there. And again, this stuff will probably, if I have it, you know where it's going to end up. It's going to end up in my eBay store. So feel free to check out the eBay store. The link will be in the description below. If you guys enjoy the content, please comment, like, subscribe. I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate you guys watching, and any feedback is always welcome. So thanks for all that you do, and happy hunting. I'll talk to you soon, guys. I have not forgotten. I've got 2 videos that I'm working on. One is my part 2 to the Red Sox baseball binder collection, and the other one is the 64, where it's a video of the 64s, my 1964 Topps partial set, because I'm curious to see who I have in there. I haven't looked at it in a long time, so I'm going to see what kind of stars we have in there and kind of see what they look like, because I don't know if I have it here handy. I don't. But if you guys watched an earlier video I did, you did see that I picked up recently a 64 Pete Rose. So I was excited about that. All right, that's it. Thanks again for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, and absolutely happy hunting. Here's hoping you find everything you look for. Thanks, guys.